Hello, lovelies. Thanks for joining Hearthside Story Corner. Today we will be continuing our voyage together with Birdling in Part 8 of The Cruise of the Little Dipper by Susanne Langer. So sit back and enjoy this animated story with me.
"Time to go home," replied Birdling. "Don't be afraid, for we are taking you there." They gave him some witch hazel bread and a drink of honeydew, and one of the shrimps was appointed to tell him stories to pass the time. The young prince was cheerful and well-behaved, and everyone who saw him loved him at once. He had yellow curls and bright laughing eyes and clothes made of flower petals that made Birdling feel very plain in his rough coat of mullein leaves. Everybody aboard the Little Dipper was perfectly happy, so they quite forgot that tomorrow morning Shag would pursue them with his soldiers. Imagine their terror when they woke up at sunrise in a raging storm that made the waves dash over the very mast of their boat. They could hear Shag howling at the bottom of the deep sea, and as he whisked his tail he made more and more bubbles and whitecaps come up. The whitecaps pursued the Little Dipper like ranks of horsemen. The young prince, hidden under Birdling's mullein coat, began to tremble and cry, for he was dreadfully afraid of Shag. "Don't be afraid," said Birdling. "I'm sure we will reach the Fairy Islands very soon now, and then we will be safe." "But where are the Fairy Islands? Where are they?" queried the young prince, scanning the sea with his bright eyes. "I don't see them, and I am so frightened." Birdling had just been hit on the head by a hailstone, but he pretended it did not hurt. "You mustn't be frightened," he said cheerfully. "I'll whistle you a tune if you'll stop crying." And he began to whistle as though he didn't mind the storm at all. As he whistled, the sea became calm and began to shimmer with 1,000 lovely colors. And out of the rippling waters rose 3 snow-capped mountains surrounded on every side by sunny green plains. He had found the Fairy Islands! Birdling ran his boat into the harbor where he saw the Nautilus fleet lying at anchor, and he called out joyfully, yo-ho, hey-ho, where's Trick?" A crowd of fairies came running to the harbor's edge and cried, "Hush, hush! No one is allowed to shout or whistle or sing on the island. Even the birds do not sing. The king and queen have commanded silence to prevail until they have some news of their son." "Here's some news for you then," replied Birdling. "Go and tell your king and queen that the young prince has returned." So saying, he picked up the fairy child and stood him on the gunwale of the ship for everyone to see, and the well-behaved child doffed his little diadem and bowed. So great was the joy of the fairy people that they stumbled over each other in their haste to go and tell the king that the good ship Little Dipper had brought back his son. The queen, who had turned into a weeping willow, came back to life and wept now with delight. The king hunted all over the palace for the key to his closet, for he could hardly wait to put on his crown once more and hold a great banquet in honor of Birdling, who had restored the heir to the throne.
Thanks again, lovelies. That is the end of our story time today. Please like and subscribe to join me for the final chapter of The Cruise of the Little Dipper, coming soon, and have a sensational day. Goodbye.